right. Hey guys, welcome back to Sun Crypto. In today's content now, we'll talk about BTC. We'll take a look at BTC on the macro view. We'll take a look at BTC on the quarterly, all the way down to the daily time frame, and we'll talk about some of these alt, also especially Ethereum on the macro view, and what type of price action we could anticipate over the next like a few weeks, months, or even years. Okay. So for some of these alt, we will only talk about them like on the lower degree, like a daily up to the 3D time frame, right? But for BTC, we'll discuss the macro view, right? So let me know if the sound is good before I get it started and all that good stuff. So we got ZX in the house. Thanks a lot for tuning in. Thanks a lot, man. What's up, Tyler, Clay, Mr. Shu? ICX is not dead. Mr. Shu is asking if ICX is dead. They ICX just got added on the Binance feature on the inverse, so that's a good news. Okay, most of the coins, like when they get added to the Binance inverse, inverse features, they tend to pump a lot. Okay, I've seen it. That's one of the reasons last year I was very bullish on Filecoin, and if you guys remember last year back in February, right? We got it on Filecoin somewhere around like a 24, 23, and the target was like what, $200. So, and it pumped all the way up to 220. So keep an eye on ICX. Remind me during the live stream, because ICX BTC is extremely bullish. So it is still a good hold, right? And you could be holding it all the way down to like 1200 sats to reaccumulate, right? But we will talk about it if you remind me later on, right? Hey, what's up, Quiet Cook? Thanks a lot for tuning in. Crypto Moon Boy in the house. Thanks a lot for tuning in. Craig Moon Boy in the house too. So we got a lot of Moon Boys. So I'm gonna try to keep it cool since we got a lot of Moon Boys, right? But now let's go ahead and dive into the analysis. We're going to start off with the quarterly time frame, right? So I don't think like many traders pay attention to the quarterly basis, right? But us, we've been paying attention to the quarterly basis, especially the last month of every quarter, right? So if you guys recall, since 2020, right? October 2020, when we said, if BTC closes above 10.5 by October 20th, we will be going to the moon, right? And that's exactly what happened, right? Because we were paying attention to the quarterly time frame, right? So when we take a look at BTC on a quarterly basis, what we're looking at right now, we know we got our resistance on the quarterly basis at 57K, right? I'm not talking about like BTC going to be pumping to 57K, because we're talking about the quarterly time frame, right? Over the next like a couple of quarters, or like a 4 quarters, 5 quarters, whatever. Okay, that's going to be the ultimate resistance to close above. Okay, if we can close above it, right, within the next like a few quarters, our next upside resistance, we talk about the 1.41 extension. Okay, it is going to be all the way up to 180K, and we will talk about why buying BTC at the monthly 21 EMA is so important. Okay, I said it multiple times, and I said if you buy BTC at the monthly 21 EMA, you can just go to sleep. Okay, you can go to sleep, right? Not can't, but you can just close a laptop and go to sleep, right? Whatever the desktop, whatever the rec indicator you're using, right? But you can select, you buy BTC at the monthly, we will talk about the monthly time frame later. Okay, but let's just focus on the quarterly basis. So the quarterly support, it is going to be in this box, right? We don't know if BTC will basically get some sort of rejection, right? We will know soon, right? We will find out very, very soon, within the next like a few weeks or month. If we get some sort of rejection at 45 to a 50K area, we could be looking for as low as the quarterly 21 EMA. Okay, the quarterly 21 EMA right now, it is just about like a 21, 22K, right? If the quarterly closes, right, it'll be higher, probably like 23 to 24. And if you guys recall, I've been saying the 23, 24, 25K area will be a crucial price range if and only if we get, we get to retest those areas, right? So the main thing we got to keep an eye on a quarterly basis are two prices, right? The 57K resistance. And why 57K resistance? Because 57K, as we said, was what, our 1.27 extension on the macro scale. Okay, meaning like right here, if you do a swing low from all-time low to a swing high, the first swing up to like a $30 and another swing low down to $2, if you follow your Fibonacci's, right, that's what you get. Okay, you got 0.786, we got rejected at 1100, right? 1-to-1 extension around 6,000, and we all know what happened at 6,000 area. All right, and the next one we get rejected at, it is right around a 1.27 extension at 57K. Right, so our next Fibonacci to keep an eye on going to be what? Going to be 1.41 extension. And after that, we will be talking about the moon target all the way up to 900K. But that's going to be probably like over the next 5, 10, 20 years, right? I don't know, right? It all depends on the volatility, right? So we're done with the quarterly. Our quarterly support going to be the quarterly 21 EMA, right? So our quarterly resistance 57K, right? So now if we take a look at it in terms of indicator, right, our most important indicator on a quarterly basis is going to be our RSI, not MACD, because we don't have enough price history to rely on the MACD, right? But if we take a look at the RSI, you can see like back in 2015, we bottomed right around like 650, 55, right? Back in 2018, we bottomed right around where, 55. And right here, if we're going to retest the quarterly 21, that's going to coincide with the 55 retest. Okay, so something to keep in mind, these prices, you're not going to get them like tomorrow or like next week, whatever, who knows, but these are macro directional target just in case we retest these areas. Okay, another thing to keep an eye on is like also if we retest this area, that could coincide with a retest of the 100K area. Okay, because we've been making what, lower highs. Okay, we've been making lower highs. Could we make another high? Probably, right? But if we just want to respect what we've been getting over the last few years, we could just say, hey, we could be we could expect some sort of consolidation or even rejection, who knows, right? But we will analyze it if and only if we get there. Okay, and we will take a look at what we're going to get if we retest the 55 RSI, right? So now let's go ahead and take a look at BTC on a monthly basis, right? On Coinbase. So on a monthly basis, as I said, since like December, right, our target was what, 35K, when BTC was above like a 55 and all that good stuff, right? We said, our monthly 21 EMA, if we get there, once we retest our monthly 21 EMA, we're going to trade the range and don't be too bearish, just accumulate at the monthly 21 or lower. Okay, and BTC dropped all the way down to a 34K, right? So as you can see right here, the monthly 21 EMA, it is not a joke. It is not like, it is not like the hourly 21 where BTC could dump like below it and all that good stuff. Whenever we retest it, we tend to basically get some, upside volatility, meaning like BTC, tends to pump whenever we retest the monthly 21. Okay, you could make an argument like back in, let's see right here, that's Coinbase. You could make an argument, right? Back in 2014, we did not quite retest it, right? But at the same time, it did pump. The main thing is like getting close to it within 90% of it, right? Or even like 95%, right? So as you can see right here, right, it basically retested our monthly 21 EMA and it is still staying above it. So our price analysis was, you know, actually very accurate in terms of like a directional move, and at the same time in terms of supports. Okay, what we said was like it is not going to break it very easily. So if we retest it, we could move almost like what, you know, 3 to 5 months, we don't know. Okay, so and right now it is already 3 months, okay, of sideways correction. Could we be moving sideways over the next like a few months, then break out to the upside, move sideways over the next like a few months, then break out to the upside, or even retest what, the quarterly 21, or even, you know, down to the monthly 50 EMA. But since we're talking about the monthly time frame, the, you know, the EMA I'm going to rely on, if and only if we break out below the 21 EMA, going to be our 50 EMA slash MA. If you're comfortable with the MA, you can use the MA, okay? But if you're comfortable with the EMA, you can use the EMA. It's not like a question of right or wrong, okay? It is not a question of finding the absolute bottom, because if you're adding the EMA, right? I mean, that's the EMA, the blue line right here. If you want to add the MA, you're going to get a lower price, okay? So if you want to be Leroy, right, and you want to use the lower price, you could use the MA. Okay, the MA right now it is at 20K exactly, right? But who cares? Okay, if BTC is between you know, 25K or 21K or 20K, who cares? Okay, unless you short-term trading and you don't care about like a BTC going all the way up to you know, 300K, 400K, you might be very picky between 25 to 20K. But me, I'm comfortable with the 50 EMA, okay? I'm comfortable with it, right? And as you can see right here, you know, it was the same price actually if you were using Coinbase, right? So something to keep in mind, right? So our next price support to the downside based on the monthly support going to be 30K price, and then after that we could be looking for what, the 50 MA slash EMA, whichever you're comfortable with, right? So the upside resistance for the monthly, we really you know, if you really want to think about it like in terms of like a directional move, the only upside resistance we could really rely on could be like 61K, right? But I don't think it is going to be that easy. The reason why I'm saying it is like on our way down, right, we did not have any like you know, consolidation on a monthly basis like we're doing right now, 3 months of sideways correction, right? But we do have some you know, 3 weeks you know, 3 weeks resistance and weekly resistance we could rely on, and we could basically incorporate it on a monthly basis, right? So that's why I'm saying on a monthly basis, our previous monthly high right there, the most recent bearish monthly candle, right, at 46, going to be the immediate monthly resistance. So we got to take out the 46K, and at the same time, right, we want to close the monthly cycle, the March monthly cycle, we want to close it bullish, okay? If that's the case, that could, you know, it could change a lot over the next like a few weeks or even like a month, closing the monthly right here bullish, right? That's going to be a good news. If you recall back in February, what I was saying was like I did not expect like the month of February to close below the monthly 21. Remember, we did not. Even back in February, I was not February, but December, okay, I was telling you on a quarterly basis, we're not going to close this quarterly cycle bearish. But as of now, I can't make any prediction because this guy can close bullish or it can close bearish, okay? I'm not 100% sure if you know, bulls or bears, you know, whoever going to be the dominant trend over the next like 7 days, okay? But if we close above 44, let's say 44K, it is the monthly open, right? If we close above 40, it is actually 41.3, okay? It says 41.1, okay, 41.1, okay? So closing above, not 41.1, 43.1, okay? If we close above 43.1, that could change a lot, okay? That could change a lot, right? So, but we will see over the next like couple of days, you know, by end of the month, if we can close above 44. That could take us to the moon, right? Because we want basically we won't have to retest the 30k, and it could just be a running flat and we could be pumping, right? So we will talk about the Elliott wave perspective, you know, next time, right? But today I just want to talk about these moving averages and all that good stuff, right? So now the next time frame we will talk about, it is going to be the 3 weeks time frame. Okay, so most of you guys pretty much familiar with the 3 weeks time frame if you've been following our channel long enough. If you're not, you know exactly what to do. Give it a thumbs up if you haven't done so, and subscribe to the channel, and so you can get these macro analysis, guys. We've been spot on, guys. I'm telling you, we've been spot on over the last few months on BTC. Okay, the breakout right here, 13k, you know, actually 11.5. okay, that's when we called for 44k, guys. Started calling for 44k. So we're not afraid of calling for these big moves. Okay, 400% move for BTC. Not many people are going to call it like in that short term, you know, short term time frame. Okay, back in you know, April, May 2019, we called for that 14k move, right, in 1 week, from like the first week of June, right, to the last week of June. We called for that move. Okay, we said we're going to be pumping all the way up to 14k, right? So something to basically keep in mind going forward, right? So now the 3 weeks time frame right here, what we're looking at is that the 21 EMA. Okay, it is going to be our biggest challenge, right? As you know, you can see right here, right, back in May, June, July, we could not break out above it. Right now we're struggling to break out above it, right? So that's not a good news. So since like we're pushing forward, okay, pushing up above the 21 EMA, let's just wait over the next like couple of days, because we're going to close this cycle in 5 days, right? 3 days actually. Okay, we're going to cycle open on the 5th, so plus 21, you got 26, right? It is what, March 23rd, right? So we got 3 days to close it. Can we close above the above the 3 weeks to 1 EMA? Possibly, right? But we will see if we can close above it, right? But you know, bears right now, they're in control, right? MACD is negative on a 3 weeks basis, right? Even though MACD was negative right there, I was a little bit optimistic, right? I was like, okay, since we cannot close below the 21 EMA, okay, we just, you know, have to wait till we get a pullback to you know, 50% to 0.618. That's why back in May, June, July, right, I was saying like, guys, just buy the dip, get busy buying the dips at 30k, right? Or you're going to get busy buying the tops. Okay, that's the only two scenarios, you know, you got. Okay, buying the dips when market is dumping at macro support, or you're going to be buying the tops when market is tapping out. Okay, so as you can see right here, we need to close above this range, just like, you know, what happened right here, staying above the 21. And we got to get this guy to a flip bullish for the macro reversal all the way up to 180 on a quarterly basis, right? Something to you know, keep an eye on over the next like a few weeks and so on, right? So now let's go ahead and dive into the analysis regarding the weekly basis, right? We're going to take a look at the 7-day cycle, right? The 7-day cycle looks like it wants to flip bullish, right, on a weekly basis. So we're still not getting a weekly crossover on our MACD, and price action, it is still below the weekly 21. So it is, you know, we just got to be very, very cautious. As I said, 43 to 46 going to be what? Going to be the monthly resistance, right? I just said it, right? And at the same time, the quarterly resistance, it is still going to be what? You know, in the, you know, between the 44-46k area, right? So we're in this range, and at the same time, you can see right here, we below the 21 EMA. We're not breaking out below the 21 EMA. Back in May, we did not wait to get above the 21 EMA. Actually, back in July, we got in right there. Okay, on the 2D basis, we got in the first bullish candle. That's when we got in at 33. Okay, we said, okay, it's time to go long, because we're going to be pushing all the way up to 50% to 0.618. But as of now, right, we're still below the 21, and MACD is still not crossing bullish. So we're not getting any confirmation on a weekly basis. Okay, even though it looks pretty juicy, but this range right here, we are pretty familiar with it, right? Support right here, 43 to 46 back in when? February 2021. If you take a look at what happened back in September 2021, remember when BTC dumped right there, what we said, you know, 40975 down to 38.2 going to be what the support. And you know, that's the same range we're struggling to break out above. So just be cautious, right? If you're extremely bullish on the low degree, you just got to be very cautious till we take out at least 46, okay, which is at the same time the monthly high-end resistance. Okay, the starting resistance, it is at 43. Okay, so keep that in mind, because if we break out above 46, we can take a cheap shot all the way up to 52. And why 52? Now we got to use our Fibonacci, right? If you do a swing high down to a swing low, 0.618, it is at 52k. Okay, it is at 52k. If you want to look at it linearly, right, meaning like this guy just going up, okay, not doing anything, not doing any of this, right? You just want to look at the linear wave, right? And you don't care what's going on the sideways, right? You could be looking for 52 if and only if we break out above 46, which is at the same time the monthly resistance, right here, okay, the January resistance, because we opened the quarterly cycle at where right around 46 to 11, right? 42,611. So we got to take out the yearly open, right? Not yearly high. All right. So now let's take a look at BTC on the regular cycle of the weekly. So it looks pretty much the same thing, right? The weekly 7-day cycle and the weekly 7 days weekly regular weekly cycle, right? Both of them are 7 days, right? So but sometimes like you can see the difference, like what happened right here, right? You can see like we got 4 bearish weekly cycle, right? But if you take a look at it on a regular weekly, you know, candle, you're not going to see like a 4 bearish weekly cycles, right? So we just hit the weekly 21, so that's not a good sign, and we're not breaking out above it. So we got to take out 40, 44 guys all the way up to 46 in order to get a comfortable ride all the way up to the 0.618, which is what we just talked about, right there. Okay, 52. And at the same time, guys, you got to remember back in September, right there, first week of September, guys, because I remember I recorded my weekly sucker was looking pretty bullish, right after I recorded my weekly private update, sucker dumped down. Okay, but you know, I mentioned it. Okay, if we dump, we could be looking for the 2 daily 21 or 3D 21 that time, right? And we dump all the way down to the weekly 21. So got to take out 46. That's the main thing to keep an eye on you know, on a weekly basis, right? In order to push higher up to 52, where we're going to be possibly taking a break if and only if we get there and we test probably the 42, 40, 44 area, okay, again, right? Just like what happened right there, okay? But you know, in terms of pattern, if you take a look at the pattern on the 3D right here, right, it looks like the same pattern we had right there on the 3D basis. Okay, if you recall how we dump back in you know, we dumped like the first week of December, you guys remember, right? And we pumped back up to 52, right? And what we said, guys, do not long it above 52, right? And we dumped back down to 45. What we said exactly 45, 46 going to be what, a support, and we pumped back up to 52. Okay, what we said, guys, double top, double bottom, we're going to what? We're going to dump to the downside. Okay, this pattern right here, okay, this pattern right there, okay, that's the same pattern we're creating right there on the weekly basis. Okay, you can't see it unless I zoom it out. Okay, you can see that's the same exact pattern, right? So it just pumped, dumped, and pumped. So it looks like a double top, double bottom, but since like we did not retest the absolute bottom right here, and we're getting some wicks. You could look at it differently, right? On the 3D, you could look at it as a triangular formation, something like that. Okay, you could look at it something like that. You could look at it like that. Okay, you could look at it like that. That's also valid. Okay, it's also a valid way of looking at it. All right, you could also look at it like that. But at the same time, if you want to look at it like that, you could be saying, oops, take a look at it right here. That's basically the inverse of what we had back in June and July, right there. So if we broke out to the upside, right there, could we okay, later on break down? That's possible, but it can also break out. So you know, you just have to be very you know, you just have to be very careful and be ready for both directional move, right? Depending on your position and all that good stuff. But the good news for the bulls is, like, we do have a nice bullish MACD right here, and at the same time price is above the 21 EMA. So it is very hard, right, to be bearish on BTC as of now, right? Because if you recall back in I think first week of December, right? Oh, actually last week of November, right? Right here, what we said, if we open and close a candle below the 3D21, we got to what? We got to do what? We got to pack our bags, okay? And until we do what? We basically open and close a bullish candle above the 3D21. And if you notice well, guys, since we started to we started to trend above the 3D21 over the last 5 to 10 days, right? You can see like Alt been pumping, okay? And we will talk about Alt later, right? Especially Ether. So you can see, like, you know, BTC above the 3D21, not yet above the weekly 21, but Alt are liking it, okay? They liking it. They liking the fact that BTC is above the 3D21 and MACD, it is still positive. So as long as our MACD is going to stay positive, we won't most likely get a harsh dump, okay? I'm going to repeat that, right? As long as our MACD, it is staying positive right here, it is going to be quite difficult, right, for the bears to dump the price below the below these supports, right? We got to get a negative MACD again. And remember, even though MACD can get, you know, can dump, right, we can still get some sort of wedge patterns right here. We don't know. It could end up being like that, right? Something like that. It could be ugly, but whatever, right? We could get, you know, a very elongated wedge pattern where BTC could even like break out later on, you know, in September, October, whatever, right? So that's possible. So let's not be extremely extremely bullish or bearish. Just be ready for both scenarios, right? And you don't want to be all out in the market. You always want to, I mean, if you're in the market, I'm not giving you any financial advice, right? But if you're in the market, you got to be holding some BTC, okay? Especially after BTC is down like more than 50%, or even like 40%, 45%, right? So, and you know, accumulate the dips, get busy buying the dips when we're dipping, right? And don't be busy buying the tops when market is topping out, okay? So but on the 3D, just to recap, the 3D, it looks good, okay? It could change over the next like a few days, but it looks good as of now, okay? So be cautious until we get a clear rejection, because it is at resistance 43 up to 46. It is a resistance area, but these indicators, they just want to challenge the resistance level, right? When BTC was right here, what I was saying was like, be cautious, don't long BTC above 43. I said it clearly, okay? That's why last week when we started to pump, you know, I forgot about BTC and I was like, okay, I'm just gonna focus on this alt because BTC is getting closer to the resistance area, so it might not pump like 10, 15, 20% easily. And you can see, like, you know, over the last few days, some of these alt, okay, LRC pump. Okay, we were looking for what? Near USDC or near USDT. Okay, also, you know, pump from the 10.5 to a 12.5. Balance, it is picking up from the 11.5 range. Now pump like, I think like to 12.8, something like that, right? So but BTC could struggle to give us a 20% breakout if a bear is going to be showing up right here. Okay, so now let's go ahead and take a look at BTC on the 2D basis. The 2D basis, it is still looking pretty juicy also, guys. Take a look at it right here. Same exact move we got right there. We're making the same possible bullish pattern. Okay, the only bearish setup we could draw on the 2D basis is like if we get a pattern like that and this guy do something like that, like what happened back in December on the daily basis, right? If I go ahead and show you the daily time frame on regarding the MACD, what we had right here, right? Remember, Leroy was actually very bullish, right here, right? Around like a 52, right? And he was asking to take his keyboard away, right? And, at 52, you buy at 52, you're going to be waiting still, okay? It's okay to buy BTC at any given price. I mean, not any given price, not at the top, right? But what I'm saying is long in it, okay? Leverage long in it. You see what I'm saying? You don't want to be long it at resistance. If you're buying right now BTC at 42K for the long term, I mean, no one should be telling you not to buy, okay? Because you're gonna be like, I don't care if it drops 20%, 30%. I'm looking to sell at 180. But if you're long in it, okay, from 42, it is a different story. You will get, you could get liquidized, right? Not liquidated, but liquidized if it dumps slightly, right? So just keep that in mind. So the pattern we had right here on a daily basis, right there, okay. Not sure if we're going to print it on a 2D basis, right? But it is something you got to keep in mind, just in case it do, it does basically, retest the support area right here and give us a, wedge pattern, like I said, on a 3D basis, right? On a daily basis, it is still looking good, okay? The only challenge on the daily basis is like the daily 100 EMA where we got rejected at right here, okay? Remember back then what I said, 43 to 46, take profits, okay, and buy back right here and take profits right there again. Don't long above 43.5. So on a daily basis, right, even though the 3D looks pretty good, we still struggling to break out above the daily 100 EMA, okay? And even if you back test it right here, right there, just about like a 50, 53, right? We got a pullback because we did have a support from the daily 100 EMA, pull back to the daily 21 and dump right back down, okay? And that's when I said right here, okay, don't buy below 52.7. Just short it after that all the way down to 40K, right? Just sell all the way down to 40K and buy back and wait for the pull back to 52 and sell all the way down to 37 and buy back, right? So daily 100 EMA, that's our biggest challenge. If we if you like to analyze it on a daily basis, a close above the daily 100 EMA could be a nice setup, especially for alt, because alt are going to get very confident if BTC closes above the daily 100 EMA at 42,876 as of now, right? So now let's go back to the monthly basis, right? One thing I did forget to mention is the monthly volume right here. So the monthly volume, we've been talking about it over the last few months, and what we've been saying is like we've been saying exactly BTC over the last 12 months, okay? March 2021, right? March 2021 all the way down to when? March 2022. That's what, 12 months. So for 12 months, right, the BTC volume been what? It's been decreasing, okay? Meaning like, even though we've been pumping and dumping and all that good stuff, it's been doing it with a low volume. So it has to break the trend. It has to break the trend, meaning like the volume trend, it has to be broken, right? So if you take a look at it right here, what could we expect? We got to expect a big volume if we're saying it will break it. So if you're a doom boy, you're going to be like, okay, Sen, I like that color, right? Because I want BTC to dump 50% so I can buy it cheaper and sell it, you know, cheaper. No, but buy it cheaper and sell it higher, right? So you know, but if you're a moon boy, you're gonna be like, you know, I want this, you know, I want the volume to be what? To be green. Okay, if the volume is green, I'm gonna be celebrating all the way up to the moon. Okay, so the big question is like, no one knows. Okay, it's not a question, but it is a statement. No one knows, right, if BTC will show up, you know, with some big volume in green or some big volume in red. Okay, so if you're a doom boy, you got to hold it. Okay, if you're a moon boy, you got to be patient, right, until we get a big spike in volume to break the trend, because the next trend going to be nice. It is going to look like that also. Okay, it is going to look, possibly, not guarantee it will, you know, it will look like that, right? But the next big volume will also look something like that, where we're going to get our next macro trend. So it doesn't matter what color we got, right? We just want to get the big volume. So if you don't care about price, you just want to you know, you just care about the final volume, so you can get some sort of relief and saying, okay, we got the final volume, I don't care what's the price right now, I'm going to buy, right? So you got to wait for the big volume. So if you don't care about the bottom, okay, and if you recall what I just said regarding buying BTC at the monthly 21, if you buy BTC at the monthly 21, your next price target will be somewhere around like 10x from the monthly 21. 5 to 10x. 5x going to take us all the way up to, like, you know, nearly 175. Okay, 10x will take us somewhere around like 370. All right, so which is in range of what we talk about regarding the quarterly next target up to 180. So you buying at the monthly 21, it doesn't matter what BTC does over the next, like you know, within the next like a few weeks or month. Okay, it doesn't matter. Okay, because, you know, I'm looking for the next target to be 180. All right, so keep that in mind. Hopefully it is clear enough, and next time we go live, we will talk about BTC in terms of Elliott wave and all that good stuff. All right, but as of now, we will just cut it short and go ahead and take a look at Ethereum, and I will take a look at the chat room. Hey, we got some moon boys in the house. Hey, what's up, Strengths? Thanks a lot for tuning in. Yes, that declining volume on the higher time frame, you know, you can't miss it if you're watching BTC on a monthly basis. You can't. Okay, you can't miss it, right? Zong. DJ Bravo Crypto in the house. Thanks a lot for tuning in. Please talk about the BTC weekly death cross that we had on Sunday. 20 just crossed under the 50. Guarantee we are going down, expecting 6% downside. So DJ Bravo is saying like to expect 50% downtrend based on the death cross on a weekly basis. Let's take a look at it. So DJ is a doom boy anyway, so let's take a look at it. Okay, let's do this. Let's say that's 20 crossing okay, I got to do this. Give me 1 second. Okay, and you got 20. So basically what is it saying is like we just got a dev cross right there, right? He's referring to the same dev cross we had. So basically the blue line, it is your you know, your 20, right? Your slower, your faster moving average, right? And the green line, it is your 50 MA, right? So he's saying like whenever we get the negative crossover right there, we tend to dump. So he's referring to what happened back in March right there. So back in March, I was saying that we're going to dump without even relying on the without even relying on the dev cross. And we got another one right here, June, right? July 2018, right? And if we want to back test it, we don't have enough history. Let's go ahead and take a look at it right there. Yeah, we got another one right here, right? So basically, I mean, it is a very accurate accurate price analysis, right? If you just want to rely on it. So you could expect your 50-60% dump, okay, which is basically the same thing I've been saying, right? What I've been saying is like whenever we dump below the monthly 21, we tend to dump what, 50%. Okay, whenever we dump below the monthly 21, you're just using like a different time frame, your weekly time frame and all that good stuff, but we basically talking about the same thing on in terms of like a support and resistance, right? So basically if BTC breaks out below the monthly 21 EMA, right, we could be looking for what, a retest of the monthly 50 EMA or monthly 50 MA, right, which is going to be between 40 to 50%, right? Basically, I said it right here, dropping below the monthly 21, you could get as low as 50% dump right there, 50% dump, right? And right here, so let me know what you guys think, what you guys think, right? Right here you got nearly 60%, so that's correct. Okay, we just don't want to break out below the monthly 21. Okay, we just don't want to break out below the monthly 21. Sand is breaking out again, 335. So now let's go ahead and take a look at Ether. For Ethereum, I'm just going to talk about one indicator, which is the monthly the weekly 25 MA. So Ether on a monthly basis, right? Okay, so Ether on a weekly basis, excuse me, right? So Ether on a weekly basis is a pretty straightforward analysis, nothing crazy. Okay, whenever we below the weekly 25 MA, okay, 25, not 21, right? We tend to be in a what? Right there. Let's see. Let's take it back. That's 50. That's 25. Okay, you could even use a 50, but let's just be constant, right? So whenever we below the 25 MA, right, which is your green / red line, right? We below it, we're in a bear trend, like what happened back in 2018. You know, being in a bear trend, a short-term bull market, another bear trend, short-term bull market, bear trend, a macro bull market right here. Okay, so we got to get back above the 25 MA to get a 90 to 90% confident level, right? We could even push higher, you know, after that. Okay, could we break out above all-time high? Possibly, but as long as we stay below the 25 MA, right, on a weekly basis, the trend for Ether, it is still going to be down, and we still got the you know, July lows we got to retest afterward, right? But the immediate support on the low, immediate resistance for Ether, it is going to be 3150, and I said it multiple times, right? 2850, 3150, it is a very crucial range, right? If it breaks out above 3150, it could challenge the you know, 25 MA again right here, somewhere around like a 3494. But it is a moving average, so we cannot just say 34.94. You still have to watch it over the next like a few weeks. It could even be somewhere around here. We don't know. Okay, but that's the moving average you want to watch. If Ether stays right there, it could, you know, even be like somewhere around like 3K, right? So that's the only thing I wanted to talk about regarding Ether. It is in a bear trend until we get a macro bullish trend above the 25 MA. It is a very easy strategy. You know, you can look at it in terms of wave analysis, all that good stuff, right? But we just don't have time yet to talk about it, right? Talk about Ether in terms of wave analysis, right? But the you know, so now strengths in the house. Thanks a lot for tuning in. Jordan Miller in the house. Jordan Miller. Pablo S Crypto in the house. Thanks a lot for tuning in, man. All right, guys. So now it is almost 1 hour. Now let's go ahead and take a look at some of these alt on the lower degree, right? So last time we talked about what Filecoin. Let's start with Filecoin, right? So what we said regarding Filecoin was like we could get a breakout above the daily 21, and if we do, that's going to be a possible potential nice uptrend all the way up to 24.25, right? So now we above the daily 21. Yes, stop loss is still going to be down to a 16.18, right? 16.28, depending on your risk tolerance, right? But if you've been following, you know, you could still have your stop loss at you know, at 16.18, 16.28, right? So, and we could be looking for the next short-term resistance at 22, and if we consolidate just like LRC, right, we could get another move all the way to 25. If it breaks out below the you know, 16-18 range right here, that could look possibly ugly, right? You know, all the way down to the next support, right? We can't see the support right here, you know, versus a dollar on Binance, right? But we just don't want to break out below 16.18, right? And next resistance going to be at 25. That way we create the macro flat correction right there. Okay, just like what happened right here, right, on the low degree. That this one could be a possible bigger one, right? So next one going to be near USDT. So near USDT, we said what I was looking at first, right, for near USDT was like, let's just do this, right? I was looking at the flat correction right there, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, and a push to the upside. But what happened was like we ended up getting a transition pattern, okay, meaning like the flat correction ended up being what? A symmetrical triangle, right? And you know, I was saying like, okay, we can still break out, because BTC was breaking out below the 6 hour 21, and I did not like it. So I was like, okay, let's just get out, you know, out of Altcoin, near, and balancer, and then get back in if the trend looks good. Okay, after that, BTC broke out above the 6 hour 21, you know, everything flips bullish. We got back in, you know, in the trend, and still looking for the 13.5. Remember, we said, you know, we got to take out the just about like 11.8. If we break out 11.8 was the first resistance, we're already above it. So 13.5 to $14 going to be the next resistance, right? So be cautious. So many pattern traders going to be drawing some head and shoulder, whatever they want to draw, right? But the 13.5, $14 going to be the resistance. So if you're still in the trade, you might just want to move your stop, you know, closer, right? So you're not risking anything now from now on, right? So in terms of like a reversal, I don't see any yet. I don't see any reversal yet. It could still, you know, retest like 11.4, 11.5, but in terms of a trend, the trend, it is still up as of now. Okay, it can still consolidate like for a few more days at, you know, let's say 11.8 to a 12.8 range for a few more days before taking off, right? But it doesn't have to. Okay, it doesn't have to, right? It likes this flat correction right there. As you can see, we do have a beautiful one right there, beautiful flat correction, right? But I wasn't trading near back then, wasn't even paying attention to it, right? So and sucker was near the top anyway, right? So it printed the same pattern right here. That's why I did not hesitate to talk about it in my premium when it was at 10.5, right? And now it is, you know, it pumped all the way up to nearly, you know, 12.7. So you take a look at it, 10.5 to 12.7, you got 20% move in less than you know, less than 4 or 5 days, right? So next one going to be BAL USDT. So if you want to join the premium group, send me a message, right? So I can give you all the information to join the premium group. So balancer, it is still looking pretty good, you know, right there, right? Think after BTC also dumped below the 6 hour, balancer retested the mid, you know, let's say I think 11.7, something like that, 11.8, right? And now pushing back up. Okay, so that was the buy range, $12 to 11.6. Now it is above 11.8, right? Mid range resistance going to be 13.5. So if we break out above 13.5, we could be speculating about the you know, big double top right here all the way up to a $15 to a $16, right? So it is still looking good, right? I don't see any reversal as of now. Everything is pointing up. RSI is pointing up. MACD is pointing up. No sign of a crossover yet. We're still above the daily 21, and at the same time, right, MACD is giving us a nice bull cross. I mean bull divergence. Okay, we got the crossover a few days ago, right? So balancer, Filecoin, near, you know, we talked about those three, you know, last time. I think we talked about VChain also, VET USDT during our last live stream. So VET USDT is still looking good, possibly still, you know, could be still could be pushing all the way up to 0.068 in the short to medium term. Yes, if market is hot, it could take a cheap shot and pump all the way up to you know, 0.09. But we will take a look at it, because very few alt right now pump today December, you know, late December resistance. I think only Ether Classic, Luna, something like that, right? Few alt, okay, pump back up above, I mean top alt, okay, QSP, you know, pump just pump 100x, not 100x, 100%, whatever, right? But the top alt, very you know, among the top alts, very few of them, right, pump above day of February 7th, February 10th. So it is a very important date range to keep an eye on, February 7th up to February 10th, right? So all right, so next one going to be CIV. Thanks for Nia. All right, so just if you are Pablo is crypto, if you are enjoying your profits, make sure to hit the likes also, right? Hey, what's up, Hank Duster in the house? Thanks a lot for tuning in, Hank. Cheese Wheel, thanks a lot, man. Cheese Wheel, Cheesecake 7 in the house. Let's go ahead and take a look at CNS. So guys, I wanted to talk about some other coins, but it is already 1 hour. So if you guys have any question, you might put it in a chat room so I can take a look at those. So CNS, I think we talked about it. I think I was saying like I will buy if it goes down to 0. I was messing with you, right? So CNS, it is back down to a support. So I think last time I sent you this chart, it was back in I think early January or late January, I can't remember, right? So it is down nearly 40% since then, right? So it is a good time to reaccumulate, right? And look for these big moves in the next like a few months, right? Not financial advice, right? The chart looks too small. Okay, so I like it against BTC, right? I like it. Looks like Jasmine. Okay, I don't know who asked me about Jasmine like few weeks ago, right? I think Jazz was around like 300 sats, something like that, right? So yeah, so CNS, it is at the bottom. It's nothing you can do. If you've been holding it all the way down here, that's the time to get busy. It's time to get busy buying the dips, right? For the next parabolic move. Okay, if we go ahead and take a look at Jazz, that's not so Jazz, right? Jasmine, whatever. I couldn't even say its name, so I was like, let me just call it Jasmine. I think it is called Jasmine, right? Jasmine, whatever. Jasmine, not Jasmine. Jasmine, whatever. I haven't watched any videos regarding Jazz, so I just call it Jazz, right? So as NASA saw the pattern right here. If you guys recall, guys, Jazz was somewhere around like I think 200 sats. Okay, what I said was pretty clear. That was my first time looking at this coin, right? And I was like, okay, right here and all the way down to the bottom, 26 sats, right? As now we hit like 30 sats, I updated in my premium. I was like, guys, it's time to get in this coin, right? Because we could be getting another parabolic move, right? And since we got in, it is already like over 3 to 4x, right? Take a look at it right here. It pumped nearly 4x, right? Nearly, okay? From like 28, 30 sats all the way up to like over 100 sats, right? So the problem right now with Jazz, I mean, I don't think it is a problem, but it could still do something like that and retest the bottom. So I was saying just take profits, at least take 50% profits. You don't have anything to worry after that. If it goes to the moon all the way up to 500 sats, you take some more profits, okay? But actually 180 to 220, right? Next resistance. If it's, if we dump back down to a 30 sats or lower, you will get busy buying the dips and waiting. SLP, BTC. Let's take a look at SLP. The smooth law portion. I think SLP was in the same boat, right? When I saw SLP dumping, what I said, I said the same thing, guys. If we dump back down to a 40 to 20 sats, get busy buying the dips. Okay, get busy buying the dips. It is at the absolute. You don't want to be buying these vertical dump. Yeah, sometimes you can take a shot, because a vertical dump will always, not always, but if like we're going to retest the bottom, it has to retest 0.618, right? So and sometimes they can reverse from 0.618, but in a strong downtrend, they're going to give you a nice parabolic downtrend, right? So SLP support, it is still 40 to 20 sats. It is still a good buy, not financial advice, right? And we could be looking for the 250 to 300 sats over the next like a few alt season, right? And it is going to be a nice coin to trade over the next like a few years. It doesn't have the volume is not that bad. So even if we do something like that in 2022 and 2023, we retest like 40 again, and 2024, 2025, we can still do something like that and get a nice big bump, right? And even though it looks small, these moves are, you take a look at it, it's like, nearly 10x moves, okay? Nearly 10x moves, right? So if you get two 10x, that's 100x, right? That's how you're supposed to look at it, not like a 100x move in one go against BTC. It's possible, okay? It's possible, but you just don't want to be that greedy, right? I'm just speculating. It doesn't have to do something like that. It doesn't have to do something like that. It doesn't. It can just go straight up to the moon without ever coming back down. But I wouldn't be realistic if I say that, right? So, but that's my plan for SLT. Buy at 20, 40 sats, take profits at 250, 300 sats, and rebuy again, over the next like a few years, right? It's not going to be a 1 month, 2 month time frame. It could be like 18 to 3 years time frame, right? If you go ahead and take a look at ICX, I think somebody was talking about ICX too, right? So if you go ahead and take a look at ICX, you can see you can see exactly what I'm saying, right? So you can see like how ICX is just trading in range between 1400 sats to 1400 sats all the way up to 6000 sats, right? This range. That's what I meant to say, right? So ICX, it is still at the bottom, guys. I mean, I know when it pumps, most people are going to be like, oh, we're going to the moon, but you got to start going to the moon at the bottom, not at the top. Okay, so and once again, it just got added to the Binance inverse features, so it is fundamentally, right, it is an upgrade, right? Because not too many coins get the chance to be added to the Binance features, okay? And Tezos, once again, Tezos, I've been saying it, Tezos will be added to the Binance inverse features. It finally got added like last month. Fundamentally, that's a good news, right? So you got to get busy accumulating Tezos for the next like a few weeks, few months, right? For the next macro uptrend, especially below 3.5, right? Yes, we can still break out below 2.5, but I won't be busy buying the dips unless we hit like a $1 to 1.5, right? But the busiest time to buy Tezos is between 3.5 to 2.5, and the next busy area could be $1, right, or to 150. And don't worry about like $2, 1.8 if it gets there, right? I'm not saying it will, but I just don't want to get too busy, right? Buying Tezos like 10% drop and all that good stuff, right? So every 10% drop, I meant. Let's see. yeah, if we, for whatever reason, okay, we get a capitulation, okay, 50% pullback, it is going to be somewhere around like 1.5, right? And you know, 0.618 going to be all the way down to you know, just about $1, okay, 110. Okay, it could be a range just like any other range, we just don't know. It could be the entire range right there, if and only if we capitulate. That's what I'm saying. Busy, you know, get busy buying the dips right here, and so that way there's no rush. If it drops right here, we know, you know, we're going to get it cheaper. If not, we're going to get it higher, right? So, and the trend, it hasn't yet, you know, it is still trending down, right? In terms of RSI, right? And MACD on a weekly basis, right? They still trending down. So we got to reverse the trend. Okay, we got to reverse the trend. Yeah, I think it was supposed to pump, you know, after hitting like $9. Supposed to keep on going to the upside, not retesting the lows. But we will see. Okay, we will see. Let's see. Oh, I just talked. Hey, Crypto Moon Boy, I just talked about XDZ actually, right? Hey, what's up, Ivan? Thanks a lot for tuning in, man. XDZ will be king. Possibly it can be. You know, you got the and we below the 21 EMA. We got to get back above the 21 EMA, right? If you want to draw some hidden bull divergence, you could also draw some hidden bull divergence, right? Divergences, right? We actually only got one on a monthly. You know, we are still making higher, you know, higher lows, and our RSI is still trending down. So that's a good news, okay? It's a good news, but we still got to expect the worst, okay? And be ready for it. Well, Alpha, what? Alpha Finance? I think Alpha Finance, right? Okay, Alpha. Yeah, Alpha is back to the bottom, just like CNS and Jazz. So you know, if it retests the 190 to 200 sats right now, ooh, got a long way to go, buddy. Guys, at 600 sats. Yeah, so if it retests the 200 sats, that's going to be the range to keep an eye on, just like Jazz. Okay, even when Jazz was right around like right around I think 200 sats, and I remember that week I first analyzed Jazz, it pumped like 40-50%, something like that, right? And I was saying like it could drop like to 26, right? But it ended up dropping over 90% after you know, after I analyzed it, right? So if it dumps down to 200 sats, even 250, you know, you're looking for the next like you know, big wave, just like Jazz and you know, SLP to the upside. Okay, you will get some resistances at 2000 sats and all that good stuff, but let's get to 200 sats first, right? The trend, it is still down. Okay, yes, quite similar to Jazz, right? Jasmine, right there. Jasmine. Yeah, ZIL BTC, it is under accumulation, but be ready for 50 sats probably if it gets there. But I wouldn't sell it. I would just accumulate 100 sats, right? And the next accumulation range going to be at, because it, you know, the thing with Zale is like, last time, right, I needed to fall more because I was expecting the parabolic move down before pumping to the upside, right? But it started the pump like November, okay, November 2020, okay, just like SNX, you know, Litecoin, you know, CRV, most coin, not CRV, but forgot the other coin, right? It's not CRV, but you know, started it back in November 2020. So that's the only problem with waiting at, you know, 65, 50 sats. Because if we ended up creating the bull divergence right here, nothing is saying like we're going to pump as of now, but it is a very volatile coin. It could just pump right back up, okay? And people are going to be drawing some head and shoulder and all that good stuff. It's not even going to drop, it just pumps. So I would, you know, just DCA, not financial advice, right? If you believe in the project, right, DCA, because the next resistance is all the way up to like 600 sats, okay, 600 sats. And yeah, let's just focus on 600 sats first, right? So 90 sats, right? And after that, just about like, you know, mid 50s, 50 sats, right? Basically the October 20 actually, yep, September 2019 prices right there. Yep, September 2019. So, but it is still a hold once again, okay? I don't want you to wake up, see this guy up to like 600 sats and you're gonna be like, oh, Send Crypto told me to sell it, give me back my Zilliker. All right, Kendra, thanks a lot for tuning in, man. Kendra is asking for TWLO. TW too low, TWLO on a weekly basis. All right. I mean, if the easiest way for me to analyze it right now, right, it is based on Elliott wave, where you got your 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And after a 5 waves, what you want to do a swing low all the way up to swing high using your Fibonacci, right? We just hit 382. That's your first support at 146. Your second support going to be all the way down to a 104, 103 area, okay? But you're going to be like, you know, you're probably a moon boy, right? Or moon girl. You're going to be like, I just want to know if we're reversing, okay? But as of now, the trend, it is down, even though we just got a nice bounce off the, you know, 382 support at 146. It went dump all the way down to 123, but the Fibonacci area, we didn't quite close below it, right, extensively, right? So the trend, it is down, okay? The trend, it is still down, and we got to get the weekly time frame to start like a trending up to the opposite direction, okay? So next support 103. Okay, but you're gonna be like, oh man, where's my resistance, right? So weekly 21 EMA right now, it is at 213, but your previous Fibonacci, it is at 225 right there. So 213, right? 213 up to 225. Actually, yeah, 213. It's a very tight range. 225 going to be the let's make it red because it could be a hard resistance. Okay, right? So 213 up to 225 going to be the resistance. So we don't know. You could even get a a move something like that, okay, and not having to even retest yet your 103, okay. So depending on your your perspective, are you buying for the long term, buying for the short term, and all that good stuff, it will impact your buying pressure and your selling pressure, okay. But one thing to remember, the trend, it is still down. It hasn't yet confirmed the reversal. The mini also, can you check Loom? Oh, golden coin. Yeah, I like Loom. I was about to make a private video update for Loom today, but I was like, let me just wait for Loom. It is still a hold, right? Has some beautiful upside targets. I got some beautiful upside target, right, for Loom. But at the same time, guys, the range right here of 100 sats, up to 130, it is still a support. Okay, it is still a support. Okay, it is still a support. Okay, nice uptrend on our side, right, on our weekly basis. And the resistance to be looking at in terms of our side going to be, somewhere around like a 72, 75 on a weekly basis, right? So if it retests like the 100 sats, 80 sats, even 80 sats, okay, it could still drop that low, right? It is still going to be a steal, but as of now, it is still a hold. I just want to cover the downside. We the January lows, January 2021 lows, right? December 2020 lows, somewhere around like 100 sat. Just want to cover that range in case it drops to that area. Okay, so Loom, it is still a good hold, man. Like, it is still a good hold. I know it is painful to say we could drop 50%, but you got to know the deal, right? We did well with Loom not last alt season, but like the alt season back in 2020, right? Summer 2020. I was saying buy Loom right here, 150 to 100 sats, accumulate Loom, right? It is about the same area, and we hit our target beautifully all the way up to 400 sats, right? So it is about the same range, 150 to 200 sats, right? But if it drops down to 100 sats, it is still going to be an add-on. I think back then was like Loom and ELF, right? Even QSP was, still around the same area, right around like let's take a look at QSP. I think QSP was around like 150 if I remember. Yeah, QSP back then just about like 100 sats, okay, and it pumped all the way up to 600 sats. Okay, so it could still fly to the moon, right? Thanks a lot, Links Things. Alright guys, I'm just gonna call it a day, right? It's been 25 minutes. I mean not 25 minutes. 1 hour 18 minutes. And it's 25 watching, that's what I was looking at. Alright guys, thanks a lot for watching, man. Have a good night. Get busy with the dips and the tops, and we go live sometimes this week, right, depending on the volatility. All right guys, thanks a lot for watching.